Guys, we're going to give it our best shot. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Going to give it our best shot, guys. You guys are the best. Don't even know if we're live or not right now. My goodness. $2025, guys. Almost 2026. Couple weeks left in the year. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Maybe no cap cut today, guys. It's a shame. It's actually a crying shame. It's a crying shame. Maybe no cap cut today. I'm going to just hop on, do the live. Do our best. Do our best sports radio impression, guys. Trying our best, guys. Thanks for being here. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Thursday, December 11th. Determined. Determined to succeed, guys. Might try re-recording our script. But we do love that. We love that audio we found. Love that audio we found, guys. Flynn Strong. Let's go, Dan Flynn. Let's go, Dan Flynn. How much... Flynn, hashtag Flynn Strong, hashtag unflappable. Dan Flynn, let's get your takes on this script that we got. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. We had somebody from South Carolina here yesterday who was saying that who loved Calvin Johnson but didn't like Matthew Stafford. He was a Jags fan. We're racking up the Jags fans. This is the script we got yesterday. Oh my goodness. Got some garage band up in here. Hey Dan, how are you doing, man? Giving it our best shot today, guys. All we got. What should our list be tonight? Or what bracket should we do tonight, guys? Bracket or list? Almost need a list of lists at this point. Top 10 criminal athletes. Dan Flynn, I'd never heard of Timmy Smith. Timmy Smith, that's a good sports trivia. holds the record for rushing yards in the Super Bowl with 204, but he's got only 600 career rushing yards. Who's the GM down? Who's running the football operations down there in Jacksonville right now? The organization. That's a good one. Top 10. That's a good bracket for tonight. Like, who's the one with the fondness for the candy? That's a good top 10 for tonight. Top 10 dysfunctional organizations in sports. Trying to find where the dysfunction comes from. Maybe we can start that list right now. Top 10 dysfunctional sports organizations. Sorry to our boy JK out in Cleveland, but Cleveland Browns might be pretty high on that list. Oh, Timmy Smith. That's what Timmy Smith liked? Because we're not, and the goal will be to offer some Timmy Smith. Les Snead disciple? Running things for the Jags? Oakland Raiders? Not even Oakland anymore. Athletics? We'll put the Athletics on there. Even though they're not really dysfunctional. I mean, they're kind of dysfunctional. Jets is a good one. They somehow managed to make those two AFC championship runs with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan. I mean, I don't know how they were able to do that, but they might have not been back to the playoffs since. So it's probably, I don't even know, like what? It's probably been at least 10 years since the Jets have been to the playoffs. Am I wrong on that? Hornets is a good one. Hornets is a very good one. Are they still dysfunctional? Aren't they? They might be turning things around. Who knows? The whole NHL is Gary Bettman still running things in the NHL? Funny how these commissioners just like last for like forever. You know, like Rob Manfred's been with the MLB for forever. Same with Goodell. Gary Bettman. F them picks approach to roster building. Von Miller. It's true. It's an interesting approach because it's the opposite approach that most people take. It is the opposite approach. That's a good point, Dan Jakowski. Basically, the commissioner is like a Supreme Court justice. It's funny. It's funny compared. It's true. Should we say the NHL on there? I mean, the NHL kind of deserves a spot on there. Not gonna lie. We might not end up putting them in the bracket just because it might be a little OP. as a whole entire sports league. Are there any organizations within the NHL that are themselves? Yeah, it's too bad that Travis Hunter got injured. They weren't really playing him. Wasn't he playing not? He wasn't really playing on defense all too much, though. F them picks, but they still picked Travis Hunter really high. I don't know. What about Brian Thomas? He's kind of had a down year. The LA Clippers is a great one. LA Clippers have to be on this list. Especially what they're going. I mean, they're going through it this year too. Chris Paul. I'm on Chris Paul's side in that whole beef. Chris Paul, I don't know if you guys saw, he was trying to coach up some of his fellow NBA. They traded up for him? So what? So much for that FM picks approach? Traded up for Travis Hunter? We're back, B-Wall. Just got to do a list today, it seems. Not going to be able to do CapCut, but at least we found that really dope song to use. Got to get those out today, though. So that's what I'll be doing. I told you I was booting. Told you I was booting. Yeah, I'm on Chris Paul's side. I'm on Chris Paul's side. He was trying to coach up Kawhi Leonard, trying to coach the defense, and then Jeff Van Gundy said that he might have had leeway to do that other places, but not anymore. So Chris Paul, he'll probably be a coach for another 20 plus years. We'll see. I was trying to deal with some of the technical difficulties, Brian. We're dealing with some technical difficulties today. It's all good, though. Still here. Coming up with a list, top 10 dysfunctional sports organizations. The Jags used to be on this list. At least as of 2025, they're not gonna. They might not make an appearance. Clippers are a joke. NHL. The NHL just, it's weird because the fans are so diehard, but the sport. Superstar Travis Hunter. So Travis Hunter, when all's said and done, he'll be known as a superstar wide receiver? Dan Flynn? Or what? Superstar jack of all trades? What will he be known as a superstar? I'm just curious because, like, to me, he, like, as a wide receiver, he's kind of like, I almost compare him to, like, you know, like Devontae Smith or something. Is he all that much better than Devontae Smith? Like, good wide receiver, no doubt. Tennessee Titans is a good one. That's a very good one. They fired Mike Vrabel. What are they doing, firing Mike Vrabel? Shut down corner. But wasn't he not? He wasn't playing much of the. MLB's marketing is Garbaggio. What text you sending me, B-Wall? What, is that below me or something? MLB's marking is Garbaggio, but it's America's sport, so it's big. Why are they so bad at marketing? But it's like the diehards are so diehard though. I see that. I see you sending me pictures of that. Preach. No way, Dan. Was it really? Or how they've been the NFL, they were hyping Irsay's daughter this year. Preach, B-Wall, for not watching the. Maybe we should start doing trick shot videos, guys. Gonna have to up our internet connection before we do that, though. That's first on the list, guys. First on the list. Colts. Colts just lucked out with Peyton Manning basically for all those years. That's the thing. There are a lot of like poorly run NFL organizations, but just the strength of the league. Cardinals. Or the Colts. The strength of the league, the rising tide lifts all boats. Cowboys are we could say the Cowboys are dysfunctional. We could definitely say the Cowboys are dysfunctional. It's just they're like the number one team for some reason still. America's team, yet full of dysfunction. The Redskins were Commanders were dysfunctional under Daniel Snyder. Like, it's kind of why I guess we were talking about Lurie this morning. Is there a reality show, not a sports organization? Jerry Hall of Fame business guy, but lousy winner. And he got jealous of Jimmy Johnson. So it's funny how many NFL teams are on this list. Definitely the Commandos under Daniel Snyder. Bengals are a good one. It's like half the NFL, guys. It's literally half the NFL. It's like what? This is why the same teams are in the playoffs this year, or every year. Same teams in the playoffs every year for the most part. But he thinks he's a football guy. He wants to be a football guy. Sacramento Kings is a good one. Well, did he actually, Dan Flynn? I do remember that. That was caught on video, wasn't it? How come the Panthers are... So Panthers are paper tiger, we're saying? Aren't they tied? Maybe they're losing the tiebreaker with the Bucks, but they at least have the same record as the Bucks. Commandos? Yeah, we'll put the Commanders on the list. It's literally half the NFL, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 NFL teams so far. We got the Clippers on the list. The Lemon Bar, Dan Flynn? Gardner Minshew? Was he? Where's our boy Gardner Minshew these days? Is he still in the Suns? I wouldn't say this. I mean, maybe they with the Robert Sarver stuff. I know. Yeah, I don't. I'll put. The Panthers probably deserve a spot on this list too. Tepper Jerry Jones 2025 edition, but without the Super Bowl rings. Knicks is a good one. Knicks is absolutely on there. Raiders probably should be on there too. Knicks is a great one. Raiders. It's literally half the NFL, though. Elena and Juliet would dig the lemon bar. The lemon bar is a nice spot. Commanders is on the list, Brian. It's just not visible right now. They're at the... we have half the NFL. At least 9 NFL teams. Dan, I'm sorry. It was too late. I read it too late, Dan. Bears? Literally it's half the NFL if we keep listing. It's like, what are the we easily have a top 10 most dysfunctional NFL franchises. Dan Chakowski said Maple Leafs? That's a decent one. I'll put them on the list. That's a good one. Because they haven't for Dan. I asked Dan Chakowski about if there were any dysfunctional NHL franchises. That's a good one because they haven't won since 67 or something like that. As Toronto, might have to take the NHL off this list because it's a little OP. Pittsburgh Pirates. Gotta be on the list. Los Angeles Angels should be on the list as well, Brian. Sixers on the list. Yeah. Yep. Honestly, Phillies. The Phillies have the most losses of any sports franchise ever, of any sports franchise. Nets, too. Definitely Nets. We'll put the Nets on this list, too. They're kind of dysfunctional as well. Sixers, Knicks, and Nets all share their dysfunction. Elena says, well, no. You think so, Elena? Well, they gotta be first. They gotta be first, given the level of dysfunction. Elena says it would be easier to list functional organizations. Maybe, yeah. It would be easier for sure. Just think about the perennial champions and stuff. Although sometimes dysfunction creeps in. Oh, you were joking, Elena? All right. You had me. You had me going there. I think you're right. But I guess it's part of it though. I think it's part of it. It's hard to be a sports organization. Hard to be functional. I guess it's interesting because it's like what they're judged on is winning, for the most part, or competing, and they're viewed as dysfunctional if they don't compete. But sport, as Michael Jordan says, to win you gotta lose. There gotta be winners and losers. So to be happy, you gotta have disappointment. That's Michael Jordan saying. There's a quote from Michael Jordan. To know how to win, you gotta lose. To be happy, you have to be disappointed. One second, guys. All right, guys. Maybe we might end up completing that bracket. It might be like a warm-up bracket. Who knows? NHL. XFL. That's a good one. XFL. WNBA. WNBA. So the Washington Senators became both the Twins and Texas Rangers? Does the WNBA go on this list, guys? I didn't know that. So the Senators left, went to Minnesota, then came back, then left, and went to Texas? I thought I knew about the Texas. I didn't know about the Minnesota connection. Melina says no. Why not, Elena? Just kidding. The Olympics? Definitely Browns deserve a spot. I mean, they won the NFL championship with Jim Brown in like 1962 or 3 or something, the year before that Super Bowl came into existence. Haven't won the championship since. Have they even been to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. The Browns ever been to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. LA Angels. I mean, they let Shohei walk. Mike Trout, who, for the first 10 years of his career was one of the best players. Have they even won a playoff series? Pittsburgh Pirates. It's just a shame. It's like how long until their best players go to the Yankees? Garrett Cole, I guess he went to the Astros first. Paul Skeens is next. Sixers. I was thinking, guys, one of the ones I was thinking for one hit wonder, but we could have put the 2001 Sixers on the one hit wonder list, but again, it was probably better to just do players, individual players, instead of teams. So it ended up being Nick Foles versus Peyton Hillis in the finals. Nick Foles came out on top. Knicks have certainly been dysfunctional. I mean, they're pretty good right now, regular season-wise. But I don't think they really scare anybody. I don't think they're really viewed as and their owner, a little bit of like a Jerry Jones situation going on there. Michael Jordan would fall in love with guys they saw in the tournament. Fall in love with guys he saw in the Kemba Walker. But he's not really... Didn't he sell his... Is he even a partial owner of the Hornets anymore, or is he completely out? Did he leave the Hornets group completely? So we got MLB offseason. Kyle Schwarber stays in Philly. Pete Alonso to the Orioles. I don't know. I mean, I thought that was interesting. I was surprised that the Mets didn't re-sign Pete Alonso. Guess it's not the NBA Cup tonight. Back to their regularly scheduled programming. You're live, B-Wall. Well, Dan Flynn, I was going to put the WNBA on this list, but Elena told me not to, so I listened to her. I'm with you on that sentiment, though. Myself. They're trying to push it hard, though, guys. Still trying to push that narrative, like... But, like, how obvious do they make it that they're trying to push it on people, even though there's... I don't know. That's just my opinion. The sum is not always greater than the individual parts. Some great points being made in the chat right now, guys. I don't know, Dan. I guess they are getting a team, aren't they? For some reason, that Philly doesn't have a WNBA team. Stephen A. saying that Shedeur needs to leave Cleveland, or it's not the right place for him. Rapidly becoming a Shedeur Sanders believer, guys. Is that crazy? Well, I mean, it's about... They should have one. I don't know what the WNBA is doing, not having a Philly franchise. Browns, Lions, Jags, Texans. But the Jags, when were the Jags founded? Wasn't the Jags were only founded in the 90s, weren't they? And the Texans, that was 2000 something, right? Didn't the Jags pick like a was it Tom Coughlin was the Jags first? No, Tom Coughlin went to, who was the Jags first coach? It was in the 90s. So the Jags and the Texans get a pass. The Browns and the Lions, we should put the Lions on the list. The Lions don't get a pass. The Jags and the Texans get a pass, for sure. Jags and Texans have a shot, and the Lions. They all got a shot this year. Some people in this chat have been saying that they're not CJ Stroud believers, but I don't know. He might be, with the strength of that defense, like he could be as good as a lower end. Del Rio? I don't think so, Dan. I was thinking it wasn't Tom Coughlin, was it? I remember they went to like the I don't know. I don't think it was Del Rio. I think that was more recently. Major winner on the money, but terrible on the court. Referencing Michael, MJ. Jags' first coach was Tom Coughlin. From 94 to 2002. So it was Tom Coughlin. Didn't they brought him back, I believe. They brought Tom Coughlin back. But I don't think his second tenure went as well as the first tenure did. What else is going on in the world of sports today, guys? Any trade rumors? Dodgers signed Edwin Diaz. That was a good move. Like, they just only make good moves. That's a good one, Dan. Well, the thing is, the Sonics organization, what happened was the guy who bought the Sonics, Clay Bennett, I think they still own the team. Or maybe not. The guy who bought the Sonics bought them to move them to Oklahoma City. Like, that was part of the plan. You know? That was like an established part of the plan, I believe. I believe that was the history there. Jaden Daniels is out this week. Full-on tank mode for the Commanders. Jags founded in 95. I'm pretty sure, Dan, because it's the same franchise. The same franchise as the Thunder. The Thunder are the Seattle Supersonics franchise. Like, like Kevin Durant played his first year in Seattle. And so did maybe Russell Westbrook, I'm not sure. But like the guy who bought the team, like I believe it was it was Clay Bennett. Part of it, this is from Wikipedia. Well, I'll show you. I mean, I don't know if this is true or not. 2 title games, soon to be 3, Dan Flynn. You've been calling for it. I mean, everybody will know who to say called for it first. I don't know. We'll see about a championship game. We'll see about a championship game. This is from the Wikipedia page. They were trying to build a new... The Rams... Well, the Rams... I think that was for money / like vanity purposes. Like, I think the owner of the Rams had no... Like, the Rams, I believe... The Rams have... they weren't always in St. Louis. They used to be in L.A. I don't know where they were founded. But I think they moved to St. Louis. Maybe after the Cardinals moved from St. Louis at some point. But I think that the Rams moved to L.A. simply, as a part of that. So they wanted, I guess, to build SoFi. I think that's why. I think the Rams moved from St. Louis because the owner wanted to build SoFi. Is Coughlin still down there, Dan Flynn? He does seem like a good guy. I'm not sure, but I think it's what, Stan Kroenke owns the Rams? Maybe some Walmart money? And I think they wanted to build SoFi. Like, have the biggest, nicest arena in LA. For, not even just for the, for hosting Super Bowls, because it's like, and more than that. But I believe that's my take on why the St. Louis Rams moved. Couldn't build SoFi in St. Louis. I've never been to SoFi. I don't know. They're going to rename SoFi in a couple years, no doubt. I know that play. That was against but no shot Blake Bortles and the Jags beat the Eagles, Dan Flynn. I don't know. What do you think? You think the Jags could have taken down the Eagles in that game? I don't know. I'm a little doubtful of that. A little bit doubtful. What do you love, B-Wall? What was that? Was Miles Jack, that was a forced fumble? Was that a forced fumble? Or an interception? Some great points being made of the chat. I agree, Dan. Our boy Nick Foles wasn't going to be, Dan Chakowski, our boy Nick Foles wasn't going to be denied. Eagles were a team of destiny that year. I mean, that's one of the better Super Bowls ever. What a great comp. Nick Foles was Will Ferrell in Old School when he blacks out. What happened? I blacked out. What a great comp. Fun fact, I watched that movie for the first time with Dan Flynn when I was probably, I don't know, 12 or 13. I was like, wow. That was definitely, that was a very, I will always remember that moment. Great movie. You're My Boy Blue. That's exactly who Nick Foles was that Super Bowl run. Nick Foles also had his run down there in Jacksonville. Right? They give Nick Foles a run. I think he got hurt right away, didn't he though? Unfortunately. Wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be. I know, Dan. What happened? What happened to the quotable? I get it's probably because they just started churning them out way more. You know, they started making them faster, carrying less. I don't know. Just got sent this text from Dan Flynn. NFL admitted Miles Jack wasn't down. Oh my, classics. Up 20-10 over the New England Patriots. Saxonville. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible call. Just a terrible call. So I guess Tom Coughlin was there at that time. Now, this is the story. You don't hear the national media talking about this. Wedding Crashers, Anchorman, Old School. Do you think it's the movies, Dan, or do you think it's us? Do you think the movies have changed, or do you think we've changed? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. I do my own stunts, guys. Zebra's just putting their putting their stamp on it, putting their finger on the scale. I mean, they did it. Well, last Super Bowl they couldn't do it. The last Super Bowl they didn't do it. But yeah, I mean, a holding call, Myles Jack. I do remember that. I didn't know that the NFL apologized and acknowledged their how they were wrong. Yeah, Dan, it's all trends now. And that's the thing. It's like it's all 6'7". I mean, you guys, you won't hear me saying that. I'll be like, it's all good. I mean, I actually understand it. I get it. But yeah, it's everything is now about the trend, following the trend, being on trend. I mean, I could be doing dances and stuff, guys, but that's just not who I am. Could be doing dances to the popular trendy stuff. Yeah, with the Otani situation, they kind of it's just like he's it's like it's Babe Ruth, It's like, well, are we going to ban Babe Ruth? Can't ban Babe Ruth? Plus, he's international, too. So, I almost think stuff like the Myles Jack stuff is worse. Like, Shohei Otani, probably a victimless crime, probably just likes the action a whole lot, in my opinion. I don't believe he was throwing any games. Maybe, they got Clase and Luis Ortiz for that, Class A. They got them for that, but they're not like once in a lifetime talents like Otani. And I don't know. I even think like that penalty is too harsh. Banning them they're going to be banned for life. Luis Ortiz and Class A and in the NBA, Dante Port, the G Leaguers or whatever, they'll be banned for life. I think that's, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't be doing it. I guess it's not a victimless crime. I guess the victims are the fans. But I think that's why I think that like the stuff where they don't, as long as they're the stuff where they get the stuff wrong and it affects the outcome or changes the outcome, that's more egregious to me than covering up a star player's activities. You agree, Dan? Yeah. I think so. It's just like, because like with this, it's like it's right in front of you. You see it. You're like, what the heck? Like they called a holding and it changed the whole game, or they didn't. They called him down, and instead of being up 21 points in the fourth quarter, the Jags end up losing the game. So that, to me, that stuff's worse. Even though technically the other stuff is a crime, I guess. But like that's why like the NBA investigation, like the gambling scandal that they led the season with, like it just didn't really hit that hard for me. Like the fact that they're playing in rigged poker games, it's like that doesn't affect me. What affects me is if like they call a foul at the end of the game that's not a foul, or they that affects our watching experience. As long as they're not throwing games, which who knows, hard to tell. Like the Bengals Rams Super Bowl, brain rot is real, Dan Flynn says. That's why we try to make brain rot with a soul. Brain rot with soul. If you've ever... I agree, because it's one thing if a player is crooked or cheating. It's another thing if... Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like... Then the game itself is compromised. Guys, I found that, like, that's part of the reason why I'm not using AI that much, guys, is, like, I found, like, the AI is also a form of brain rot in a way. Like, when you use AI to, like, say, that's why we write our scripts here with everybody's input. Like, if I were to use AI to write the script, yeah, it might sound great first look through, but in the end, like, what I would find is, like, I couldn't even remember the script because I didn't write it, So it's like you wrote something, but you didn't even write it. So your brain didn't even work, and your brain doesn't even remember it because it didn't do it. Yeah, Dan says, same, coming at you live here, guys, still. Dan Chakowski says, same reason a crooked cop or judge is so bad. Supposed to uphold integrity, not undermine it. Throwing up the hundreds for that. I totally agree. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. That's what we'll leave that to the dying legacy media franchises. They can use the AI scripts. Part-time officials. I like it when they just don't call any flags. I'd be totally fine if they didn't call any flags. Like, although I guess there's, I don't know. I guess it could devolve a little bit. But the best games are the ones, the commentators are halfway through and they're like, oh, the refs are really letting them play today. I didn't know that the NFL still had part-time officials. That is super antiquated, especially for the National Football League. Multi-billion. Soon it's like $100 billion probably at this point. You add up all the franchises in the NFL. OKC's off to a 24-1 start. That's a good... Wow. You guys are making some good points. Perfect way to be able to... it's like... Then you always have the backdrop. Yeah, right on the money. Right on the target, guys. That is right on the money. Got the Flyers against the Golden Knights tonight. Golden Knights tonight. Flyers are underdogs at home. Don't love that. Jack Eichel still killing it, I guess. Try to catch some of that. Maybe the third period. We'll see. What there's another Hockley in there now these days. Sean Hockley or something. I had never seen, if you guys watched the Monday Night Football game. You're right, Dan. It isn't even a story anymore. It's not. People have forgotten. Well, we'll wait. Are there any other shoes to drop in that story? Pretty light sports day, guys. Not too. Last couple days been light. Braves signed Mike Yastrzemski to a 2-year deal. I like that. I like that for the Phillies. Dodgers signing Edwin Diaz is smart. That was their biggest hole on their team. It's a great point, Dan. It is. That is Dan Chicka. You guys are making amazing points. Goes back to the brain rot. The 24-hour news cycle has become the 24-second news cycle. Hey, we're guilty of that too, guys. A little bit guilty of that ourselves. Somewhat. But at least we have the live streams here to take our time with topics. Not too much brain rot going on in the live streams. Thanks for that. That's a nice full circle moment, guys. We got an active head coach. What's going on with Chauncey Billups? I haven't heard. Wow, Alek Manoah up off the scrap heap. What happened to this guy? This guy was a Cy Young contender a couple years ago. Maybe not a bad signing from the Angels. All right, guys. Let's go, Dan Flynn. I'm going to call it too. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll be back on tonight. I just got to get off so we can make a video or something. Haven't been able to make that on stream today due to some technical difficulties. I'll be back on later at 7. Peace out, Dan Flynn, Dan Chikowski, Elena, B-Wall, whole squad. Dan says... Yeah, Dan. That's why I said I'm so grateful to be alive and born when we were, you know? Very grateful. Peace out, bro. Peace out, guys. We'll talk soon.